Hi, my name is Noel Davis with World Composting, and today we're going to do an update on our Vermibag Max. Now, it's been 19 days since our last update, and hopefully they've moved through most of the food by now. We're continually trying to tick down the days as far as with these checks into the system, and we're trying to add more and more food. So we've got another 2 large containers like this to add to the system. The system is really kind of population has grown to be able to handle these food scraps, it seems like, but we're going to continually add, and this is going to be added no matter what. Doesn't matter if there's fruit flies in there or fungus gnats or anything like that, although they do seem to be dissipating in these systems. We are going to continue to add food. I don't want to stop this process. I need to actually process more food in my basement as the summer months have come and we go through more fruits and vegetables, and I do need to have these go through my systems to really start turning this through. So with that, let's go take a look and see how it's doing and see if there's any issues. I know that we've had some fungus gnats or fruit flies in here. I'm hoping that they've kind of dissipated some more, but we might have some ways to take care of that as well. So let's go and take a look at it. Okay, here is our Vermibag Max system. As I said, it has been 19 days since our last update. I do have my shop vac here kind of ready to go just in case there's a ton of bugs coming out of here, as there were some last time, but we're going to see how it looks right now. So let's go ahead and open this up. We're just going to go ahead and open this up all the way. Alright, I do see a couple flying out of here. I'm going to just vacuum some of these up real quick. Alright, it didn't seem too bad, but it's just a lot easier to vacuum up than have them go out in the basement and fly around my face. So with that, we're going to go ahead and remove this cover on here. And first off, take a look at this, see how this is doing. As you can see, there's a lot of them. There's one right there. You can see there's a lot of, it looks like springtails on here. You can see those. Maybe right over there might be a little bit better of a location. Tons of springtails on this cover. That's fine. Springtails help break stuff down. You know, it's not a big deal. With this, it looks like this system has plenty of moisture in it. Fruit fly right there. Let me grab my glove. And let's dig in here a little bit and take a look and see how they're doing with the food. Overall, I mean, really, by the way, I did take out my little trap here in the corner. It looks like there's, hopefully this is still working. But if not, it's at least doing something. It looks like there's some, it's hard to tell through the lid, but there are some dead bugs in there. And I think this was refreshed last time, so that's a good sign. All right, now with that, let's go ahead and dig through here just a little bit. Actually, before we do that, let's just move that up a little bit. Let's zoom you in. There we go. So right here, tons of, I also see on the top of this material here, I don't know if you can see, there's lots of little white dots. I think those are also springtails as well. I don't know if you can see them or not, but maybe right there off of this one, there's just a ton of springtails in there. So let's just dig this back here on this side. Do one side at a time here. So we've got some coffee grounds. These take a while to break down. Not surprising. But overall, it looks like, look at all these worms, first of all. Look at right here. I mean, look at that, all those worms in there. This looks like a nice, healthy system. The cardboard is starting to break down. Every time you see me reach over, I'm just killing fruit flies that I see on the system itself. I'm not seeing too much food in here, which is a good sign. So this is doing pretty well in here. It looks nice. We do have some an avocado shell. These do take a long time to break down. and an avocado pit. But we'll leave that in there. Those are doing fine. That's not a worrisome sign to see those. Those do take a while. Let's just dig a little bit over here. Again, more paper, maybe some coffee grounds mixed in there with them. But overall, that looks really good and healthy. So, normal stuff that takes longer to break down that we're seeing. A coffee ground right here as well. Now, let's go ahead and go to this back corner over here. Let's just take a look. We're just going to scrape off this paper on the top. Let's just see right here. And again, nicely composted material with paper in it. Lots of worms working at it. Hopefully you can see that. I can't tell if that's coming in clear or not, or if it's too dark. But it looks like this is doing really well. Here's a mango seed. Again, this is also something that would take a while to break down in a system like this, these mango seeds. So not a big deal. Lots of worms, it looks like. That's a piece of paper. I don't know why that looked like plastic at first. We do see some banana peel leftover remnants in here. That's not a big deal either, as long as it's not like full banana peels. That's what I don't want to see, is like if it was a full peel, I'd be a little bit worried about them going through the material, but that looks fine over there. Now let's go to this side over here. Well, first off, look at this. Okay, there's a bunch of fruit flies that just came out of this area. But look at all the worms over here in this system right here. I mean, there's a ton of them. A lot of flies in this area. So this area seems to be a little bit worse on this side. I'm not sure what was over here. But it just seems to be a little bit worse as far as the bugs that were flying off. Probably 10 to 15 just flew off compared to maybe 20 total in the entire system when I opened it. Again, this material all looks well composted. I'm not seeing any cocoons, but I don't typically find them when I'm looking through a system like this. But these are nice variety of worm sizes in here and everything. So these look really, really good. So overall, this system so far as I can tell, is doing really, really well. Let's just do one little jab here in the middle as well. We'll scrape away the castings on top. Let's just see here. All right, look at this. So this is also looking really good as well. And we do have some grapes in here, it looks like. Tons of worms, though, in this area. All different sizes. It looks like we do have a larva for something right over here, though. It's crawling around. That, I bet, is a fruit fly larva of some sort. I guarantee is not a worm right there. But overall, the rest of it does look fine. Looks like really good composted material. I do see an avocado seed here in the bottom. But overall, this material is going really well. These avocado seeds, they take a long time to break down. There's another one. Here's a stem of a banana peel. I think I saw some grapes in there too when I flipped it over. Yeah, so right there. Look at this. You can just see that these worms are really going to town on this material. Got some nice variety in sizes as well. So hopefully this is doing pretty well, it looks like to me. And we're going to go ahead and cover this back up. Because what are we going to do? As I said, as long as there wasn't, I mean, if there's tons and tons of food left in here, I wouldn't be adding more food because I'd be worried about them then. But they've gone through most of the food in here, and it's time to add in more food. So with that, first thing I'm going to do here is I'm going to actually put on a mask, and we're going to put in a bunch of crushed crab and eggshell. If I can get my mask on with one hand. There we go. And I've said this before, but you should always wear a mask when using crushed crab and eggshell because it does irritate your lungs. And I'll have videos linked up top on how to make this. But this is just to kind of balance the pH in the system, but also it adds grit for the worms. So that's a good amount right in there. And I add this with almost every feeding now. You don't need to necessarily, but I do like to make sure that the worms are well taken care of. And now it's time for some food. Now the worms should have already dug back in and below the cardboard, so they're going to be protected. All this food is frozen. But I'm just going to, hold on here, smash it on the side of this system so that way we can open it up a little easier. Flip it around this way. We've got mango, avocado peel again. So let's go ahead and grab this out. We got an avocado peel. I'm going to break this apart this time. I should be doing this more frequently, but I should really be crunching up these avocado peels like this. And that way they can kind of be worked into a little bit quicker. This is going to be a very fruity mix right here for this one. This one's a little bit light compared to the other one, although as you can see there's tons of moisture on here. We do have some long digesting things with these mango seeds and mango peels. So we're just going to spread this out in here. We do have some coffee grounds. We've got some celery. Let's see if we can break this apart a little bit here. This looks like an avocado pit. Just trying to break this apart a little bit here. Lots of mango in this one. This one is very light compared to some of the other ones I've had. This looks like a big solid mango chunk on the bottom. I don't know if I'm going to break that apart or not. No, probably not. Oh, there we go. Got it. Got a couple pieces off of there. So there we go. There we go. That's a good mix for that one. Let's grab the second container here. And again, I'm going to do the same thing. Just kind of, all I'm taking this is just pounding them on the edge, like of the wooden frame around this system here. So it loosens everything up off the plastic. So there we go. We've got, this one's got banana peels. Banana peels with coffee grounds in them. A coffee ground wrapper. Now here's something I don't throw in very often because I don't eat this. My wife does though. This is grapefruit. I don't think I've ever thrown in a grapefruit before in my systems because I don't buy them ever. But my wife wanted grapefruit, so she bought some. So we've got some coffee grounds here. Just see if I can break them apart a little bit there. Open it up. That one was already open. Oh, we got some apple core. More banana peels. Always have lots of bananas in my systems. It's one of the more popular foods in my household. Alright, looks like everything else is shoved up in this system right here, or this grapefruit peel. Let's just see here real quick. I don't think we're going to be able to get the rest of this apart. Oh, there we go. I got one thing off. Looks like that's an apple top right there, or I'm sorry, a banana top right there inside the coffee grounds. I'm just trying to see what else is in this peel here, but I don't think we're going to be able to get there. It looks like there's a banana peel in there, and then the coffee grounds are kind of blocking it off here. So, with that, I am going to do one more thing here. This is actually open on the bottom a little bit, so I can just poke my finger in there. Push it out. Nope. Alright. Alright. So with that, I am going to do one thing, because grapefruit probably is a little bit more citrusy than I normally would put in here. We're just going to go ahead and dump a little bit of crushed eggshell on those too, just to make sure that there's any pH issues that should be taken care of. Now, if you watched my urban worm bag video, and I'll post a link up top, one of the things that you might remember that I added to it this last time was a container like this of pine shavings. Now, my pine shaving system, for those that didn't watch it, I'll link up top that as well, but I had a system that I ran on just pine shavings and food, and I really found that there was almost no fruit flies or fungus gnats in it, and I'm wondering if it has something to do with the pine shavings. So we're going to add pine shavings to this system as I did with my urban worm bag, and we're just going to kind of sprinkle these on the top here like this. And what I'm kind of hoping is that this will prevent other insects from wanting to roost in here. I think there might be some properties that they have that kind of are preventative. And if they come out at the end with the castings, it's perfectly fine to use in my garden. So, and these are pretty cheap. I think it's like 10 bucks for a massive, massive bag of them. So I'm not too worried about that. Now, the last part to this that we need is our paper. And we're going to be putting on a lot of paper here. Loading this up. This paper, by the way, has been soaked in water with BTI for the past 20 to 30 minutes. As a way to get it ready to go in here, I want to make sure that we get the moisture content right. So we've been pre-soaking our paper this time. Obviously the shavings have not been soaked, they're dry, but I'm sure that with how very little we're adding, I don't think that'll be a problem. So we're just emptying out this container. Let's make sure we spread it out here too. And the BTI is supposed to prevent fungus gnats. It looked like this had fruit flies in it, not fungus gnats really. And I'm hoping that the pine shavings help kind of tap down on those. But we'll see. Either way, I'm going to continue just working the system as I normally would. I'm not going to stop as I have in the past where I'll be like, oh, I'll just stop putting food in it, or leave out things. I'm just going to continue to just plow food in here as long as the fruit flies aren't ridiculous. Because I really just want to keep the system going. I really need to move through a lot of my my food that I have, and these systems are the ones that are really handling the most of it. You know, they really do. You know, 2 of these containers, you know, on each urban worm bag and Vermibag, which is 4 total. And I fill up easily one of these a week, one of these containers, or 2 containers of those a week. So there we go. We've got that in there. Let's just make sure it's spread out nicely. I think that looks pretty good. So actually I'm going to put a little bit more dry paper over here. And the only reason why it's dry is I don't have any more that's soaking, but there's a little bit of a, because of how tall those grapefruits were, just need to add a little bit more on there, and I can put some water on there to kind of saturate it a little bit. So I'm going to still add the water with the BTI mix. I'm not too worried about overwatering these, because there's plenty of castings in here. That'll soak up the water that's going down. But that should be good. And now also with that, we're going to go ahead and cover it back up. Let me just get all this paper off my gloves. Looks nice. Pretty good right there. A little bit higher. Now, let's add this tarp back on top. Just like that. And we'll add in our little fruit fly trap there at the corner like we had before. I don't know if it's doing much anymore, but we're going to go ahead and add that back in. It's probably catching at least a few. But hopefully we'll see a severe decrease in the amount of fruit fly activity I'm hoping with these pine shavings. And by the way, if you're curious, this container right here, it shows on the bottom here, was it 6.2 cups? Or 1.4 liters. So that's how much I'm adding to this each time. You know, just enough to kind of sprinkle it along the top. I could always add a larger amount. I do have, as I said, a ton of these, but that's what we're going to start with for now. We're going to see if this does anything. So thank you for watching. If you have any questions, please let me know down in the comments. And remember, I do have links down to purchase a lot of these items if you're looking to get into composting. Thank you for watching.